Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, hundreds defy public health orders in Alberta as case numbers soar.
There needs to be a crackdown.
We were on the scene of an anti-lockdown rodeo as Premier Jason Kenney suspends the legislature and doctors say expect cases to rise. How can public health officials break through? Also tonight, meet one of Canada's youngest vaccine recipients.
We will sometime soon return to the things that she loves.
Alberta lets medically vulnerable kids get the shot. When can other kids expect to get in line? The crisis in India reaches new heights. As aid pours in, people there fend for themselves.
I'll show you something right now. I'm carrying a bottle of oxygen with me.
The longest standing dragon bids farewell. How does it feel now to be an ex-dragon?
Wow, it's a wow.
Jim Treliving on life after the den and some of the wackiest pitches that turn to gold.
We thought, ugly Christmas setter. Where's that going to go?
This is The National. From coast to coast, every region of Canada faces the same challenge, a variant-fueled surge that moves faster than we can vaccinate. Tonight, we'll take you through the latest on that fight, and how it's going depends on where you are. In Quebec, BC, Saskatchewan, and Ontario, case numbers are now flat or slowly falling, though hospitals are still under pressure. In Nova Scotia, Manitoba, cases are heading upward. Alberta, though, is where we begin tonight, now seeing the highest per capita infection rate of any province since the pandemic began. Infections spiraling so quickly, the province temporarily suspended its legislature. While the pressure on hospitals reaches unprecedented levels, Erin Collins shows us some people who are determined to ignore the warnings.
It's Rodeo Day here, and even as COVID-19 cases surge across Alberta, the crowds have arrived.
We will not get sick. This whole COVID thing is a big scandemic.
Hundreds of people showed up today, no masks, no social distancing, no sense that this might be dangerous.
My husband has an autoimmune disease. We've never done masking or anything. And if this was as serious as they say it is, he'd be dead 6 times over, and I would have caught something by now.
Well, you wouldn't know it by looking at this field, but Albertans are supposed to be staying home, limiting contact with other people. There's a public health order that bans outdoor gatherings of more than 10 people, and the pushback to that is more than just this rodeo. Across the province, anti-mask activists marched through the streets.
We're just asking for enforcement of existing health regulations, and we need to crack down on these protesters.
Meanwhile, COVID cases continue to spike. The number of patients in Alberta's ICUs just broke a pandemic record. Pressure on the healthcare system building by the day.
The numbers that we have now are concerning. And we do expect that they will go up.
The spring sitting of the provincial legislature has been suspended for 2 weeks to discourage MLA's travel and slow the spread. The opposition wants the government to do more.
My message today to the Premier is simple. Show up, come to work, do your job.
Well, that horse may have left the barn. Premier Jason Kenney wants to avoid a lockdown. Instead, he's urged people to follow the rules, including new ones aimed at cooling hotspots this weekend. But clearly, some Albertans just aren't listening. The question now is whether the Premier will do anything more to make them. Erin Collins, CBC News, near Bowden, Alberta.